I have 48 health. What the heck? All right, midliner. All right, big bad Kataro, Axie. What's going on, Axie fam? Elijah here, back with another video. And today I have one I'm very excited about. We're gonna be looking at a poison comp and how it does in the arena with no charms attached. Now you may be wondering why I'm doing this. Well, it's simply a bug. Right now, if I try to attach charms to these few particular Axies I have, and I save it, I get this error message, Axie config has reached its limit. Maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. So there's some fixes out there for this, but they haven't worked for me yet, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna have to wait it out. But I was so hyped about buying this team that I'm like, I just wanna play anyway. The weird thing is, even though my runes aren't equipped either, because it said that it couldn't, it actually showed up in game with the runes, but no charms. Again, we're in alpha, so I guess stuff like this just happens until we have the official release of the game. But nonetheless, let's talk a bit about this team composition. Now, the bug I had already had in my inventory, and what I added are these two reptiles. Now, I'm not gonna lie, these Axies were not cheap. Each one cost over $100. I think it was like $130-ish for each of them, but they're monsters. This guy right here has got such an amazing move set. It's the two poison skills that you for sure wanna have, which is small frill on the ears and green thorns on the back. You're spamming these throughout the game, stacking up tons of damage on your opponent. I have Kataro for a little bit of energy assistance. It gives me some damage and I get energy back when I hit two enemies. I have pretty good chances of this because with poison comps, you're usually not killing anything too quickly, and the more Axies he has alive, the better I'm gonna be at hitting two of them and gaining an energy. Kataro, it fits the theme. We're spreading damage. It attacks a random enemy, applies death mark to them. Now, if I had the ability to equip charms, this guy would get tons of HP. I'd put all of these on him, and I would also equip Wall Gecko with Gecko Mask, which would apply taunt to this Axie for 4 turns, which could really screw up my opponent. That's why he's at the midline position. Notice how both of them have Scaly Spoon as well. That is because it reflects damage, which is fantastic with a poison team, and it also buys me time with really great durability, 70 shield. The backliner, another insane Axie. We've got the poison, we've got Tiny Turtle to slow things down, Gecko, which can take care of the rest of my team since this guy's gonna be pretty safe and happy on the backline. Loses 50 HP, but cleanses everything else and heals the other Axies for 25 health. Tiny Dino, we're just gonna sit on this the whole game, and then when things get down to the wire and it's me versus, you know, 1 or 2 of his final Axies, I get to blast him with over 120 damage if I was able to put a damage charm on this. Without the damage charm, this still goes up to 120 flat damage. So that's the midliner, the backliner, and then the bug that I had in my inventory just goes so nicely with it. Square Teeth for free damage, which is really gonna add up on a comp like this. Carrot for some more energy. Small Frill fits the poison. Another Kataro, Scarab to target any enemy, so if I really want to pin one of his weak Axies down, I can. And even a little Arco in there in case there's some high secret builds, I can deal with those a little bit better too. I really like where this is going, and if I could have it on full blast, I think it'd be absolutely disgusting. But even with no charms, I've only played a few games. However, I'm 3-1. I'm 3-1 with bare bones, and the runes that I put on here too are like nothing fancy. I don't have poison touch. These are basic. Leftover potion twice and pure instinct. That's it. So what I want to do now is take a look at 2 of these games because they were very interesting. Let's start with the first one, which is up against a YGG opponent by the name of Paul Ash. And here we go. Round 1, I get the Tiny Turtle Chomp on the plant. Might as well play it. It's the best card I had. Now, I had Kataro. I could have gambled with that. The problem is if I play Kataro and miss and I don't get the stun, that feels pretty bad. Because this can throw off his game plan if he's not able to play, I don't know, Clover, or he misses Carrot value. So I'd rather take the guaranteed stun there. So my opponent does a little damage in his first round, but the plant is disabled. I think it was kind of irrelevant there. But nonetheless, I don't hate my line that I took in the previous round. Green Thorns, we're gonna start spreading that damage. Carrot, and then here's where I have the random Wall Gecko. Now, normally this would be great. I would be taunting him on turn 3 with damage reduction. Unfortunately though, I'm just gonna do damage with that card since I can't play my charms, and I'll get rid of the blackmail as well for the backline taunt. Gonna draw him away a bit here, make him slower at killing my bug up front. So now all my Axies are a little weak. His are starting to get weak. And here we go. Poison, poison, poison. Small Frill, Green Thorns. You don't even think when you get this draw. You just play the poison. 13, 13, 9. That means over 30 damage on the front and the mid, 39, 39, and then on the back we saw some significant damage as well. That plant is chipping away. Now what's funny about this match is that you're gonna watch it, it's gonna look like I'm kind of behind the whole game. Like, it's not going phenomenal for me. He summons a Mavis on the back, and to be honest, I was actually surprised when I won it, but let's see how it plays out. There's a Scarab, which I'm actually gonna hit the bird with that first, and then follow up with the Kataro. I don't want the death mark going on the bird. I'd rather just clear that out, guarantee the Kataro goes somewhere else. We play the small frill at the end there, and now we're in 45 damage range. Over 30 damage on the back line too. I think that was 33 damage on Bubba. My front line goes down. Midline is starting to take some heat. All of his Axies are alive, and he has a high damage team. This thing is getting up closer and closer to rage mode, but here's where we get the broken aspect potentially of poison, which is partly why I made this video, was to discuss if poison is too strong. Notice how I am putting him down to 1 HP, and I'm not going to take the kill here. I want him to live because my poison's going to finish him off in the next round, and the way that that mechanic works right now is that he's actually going to draw into his plant, but whatever plant cards he gets are going to be unusable, almost as if I'm like applying sleep to this Axie, and it becomes very easy to do this in the later game by simply calculating the amount of damage they're going to take from poison and setting yourself up to cripple them in the following round. So for a build that already does great damage across all Axies and is very strong, especially if you have the charms and runes to go with it, such as Poison Touch, which reduces damage, I think this is where it goes overboard, to be honest. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to play Scaly Spoon on my midline. That's 80 shield there for me as well. Down goes his plant. And he gets actually a phenomenal draw. So he only drew 1 plant card there, so I don't get that, you know, really powerful effect. But you can see how in other games that could be really strong. Up to 8 rage stacks on the beast. Yikes. I want to make sure that I win this game somehow before he goes into Fury form, but I don't. Again, I'm kind of surprised that I managed to do it. There's the Kataro. I'm going to play Green Thorns. I think I played the Dino here as well to make sure that bird drops. Yeah, okay, cool. So down to 26 HP. Now the bird is gonna fall. Get rid of the blackmail because I need to have a clean draw next hand. I can't only take 4 cards. I need everything I can get here. Wow, 2 cards on the beast, but look, he can't play Sparky and go into Fury mode. And so instead, he elects to just do damage, hold Foxy. I think that might have been a misplay. I'm not 100% sure there, though. I guess he's hoping to survive this round and go into Fury mode next round, which I think does make sense. He's probably not expecting a lot of damage, but look at what happens. Out of nowhere, Kataro, Wall Gecko, my abysmal damage on this Axie with the extra 15 from each death mark is actually enough to drop this thing to 13 HP. Poison finishes the job. And we steal a win in our first game with the poison composition and, you know, with a lot of health to boot. So I thought that was pretty telling of how powerful this team can be. Now let's skip this game because it was just me versus another poison comp, which was kind of a snoozer, and go to a team that when I matched against it, I thought, whoa, I'm in trouble. I have no clue how I'm supposed to win this one because it's just such a high-powered comp. And he has the Bloodlust, which is obviously super strong. Big damage charms across the board. A bird with Kestrel, which can slow things down, has Sun Stamp on that, so it's going to go to my backliner. But let's just see how it goes. Carrot for the opponent right away, following with the Grandma's Fan, very standard. Now I have Vulnerable on me. So I'm not feeling too hot about this game, as I said, but we are always going to fight. It's the MT8 way. So we play our own death mark onto him, small frill for the poison, 3 stacks across the board. Here he abolishes both of his clear and his pink cheek, and he ends up with Cute Bunny and Kestrel. So my backliner, you can see here, starting to get chipped away at, and it's a little scary because he's got AoE here. We know he has Grandma's Fan, Tri-Feather, Earwing. Okay, now, again, what do we do here, folks? Pop quiz. We play the poison, of course. Plus, I would never play Tiny Dino in this situation with just 60 damage on it. So we now have him up to 10, 6, 6. That's pretty good, but the problem is this Aqua just heals up, right? That's the other thing I was worried about, is like, that's a big counterpoint to my team. Yeah, and now I'm taking serious damage, 42 across the board from the Earwing, and he's at full health. He's gonna drop a Mavis. I don't know, maybe I probably would have played Scarab there if I was him, since I do have a poison team. The Mavis is often going to not get a lot of value. So I do go with the Tiny Turtle on the back line to get the stun up front, following with the Kataro, and then the random Wall Gecko that isn't going to taunt. It's just going to do some damage. But we are chipping away at his plant up front. He'll take 30 here, I believe, putting him at 121. There's a Tri-Feather. He can only play 2 cards here, which is actually great. So the stun worked out nicely for me to slow him down because he's got 2 energy that he didn't really get to do anything with there. I believe we're gonna play the Kataro first. Yeah, there we go. Because he's got 4 units here, so really likely that I get the extra energy. We're leading there. We're going to do Green Thorns. We get basically a phenomenal hand here that we can play everything. The Mavis does go down, but here's where I run into a problem, is that he actually has that Kestrel to keep disabling my Tiny Dino. I do eventually need to hit something with that if I'm going to catch up here, because I am significantly behind at this point. He is firing away. His Aqua on the back is super healthy. Gecko here to get rid of Vulnerable up front. Not sure about that. I lose 50 more HP on my back line. Probably a mistake. I don't know. I think I was grasping at straws a little. I'm not really feeling like in a great position, just trying to pull some magic. I'm going to play the Small Frill, and I'm now dropping him to 8 HP so that he will get dissolved here and his hand will hopefully get affected. It kind of does. He only can play 2 cards here. He's got the Nemo that isn't really going to do anything for him. But now my back line's down to 28 HP. My front line has 98. His Aqua's damn near full health. What on earth is going to happen in this game? How is it going to go down? He heals the bird with the Nemo, which is smart. And now Kataro lands on the Aqua, which is fortunate. And I think it's going to be another spot where I'm like, okay, Tiny Dino, 120 damage, kill the bird, but does that help me really? Generally, you don't want to kill an Axie if they have a bunch of cards left to draw and you know their other Axie's more powerful, because it's like, okay, I'm just going to give his most powerful Axie everything he wants by thinning out the deck. But in this spot, when it's going to redraw, there's some merits to going ahead and eliminating this bird. But what I end up doing is actually going full shield on my midline, 130 shield, and I do think that's probably the smartest thing to do here. I just need time. If I don't do this, I'll probably just die actually in the next round. I don't get to kill the Mavis, which is really terrible. He's gonna be able to fire a full clip. He kills my backline with Kestrel. Now he's going up front. Cute Bunny reflects some damage on the Aqua, which is, you know, pretty useful at this point. Bird heals up a little bit. I have 48 health. What the heck? All right, midliner. All right, big bad Kataro, Axie. Here we go. We missed the extra energy, but we get 60 damage on the back line. And now I'm actually going to be able to get the bird to low enough health where it's going to die to the poison. In the next turn, I play the Fallen Hidden Knife, which is going to reflect 20 damage from the next attack that I take on this Axie. And we also have to take into account that this Aqua has 13 poison stacks on it. It's going to take 39 damage in the following round. So what does that mean? How does this all add up? I'm back up to 60 HP, 30 shield. That's definitely not enough to survive this round. Down goes the bird, but the Aqua has 16 HP. That's it. He's gonna hit into me, take 20 damage, and drop. And somehow or another, this glorious midline Axie lives with 4 health. Damn, what a game. And there you have it. The 2 really interesting matches that I played today with the poison comp without any charms. I do have some very basic runes equipped, but you know, in challenger mode, this is a very subpar arsenal of runes and charms to go into battle with. Obviously no charms, which is kind of crazy. So I think poison is a little too powerful right now. Now if you put poison touch and some of these other runes on there, it's really, really strong. However, I do have another comp I've been playing that has Silent Whisperer, which is an amazing card. It's actually this reptile. I run it at the midline on a plant reptile beast comp that I have. And if you're not familiar, because you probably haven't seen this card all that much, but you target any ally, you heal it for 50 health, and then poison on that Axie is actually gonna heal you instead of hurt you for the next 6 turns, which is a boatload of turns. Almost for the entire game, you get to heal from poison instead of take damage. It's a hard counter. So if you target that generally on like your back line, big damage dealer, and you keep it nice and happy and healthy. So I do think there are some really good adjustments and single cards like this that you can throw into a team that'll help you a lot versus poison. So I don't think poison is like crazy out of this world overpowered, maybe just a little too strong. Leave a comment below, let me know what you guys think. I look forward to maybe making some content with this team when I have it fully loaded. But also leave a comment, let me know what type of content you want to see in the future, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.